Namaste, namaste, family of light. Reverend Sharon Elizabeth, also known as Baba Sharone, here, still in Georgia, on my way back to Florida tomorrow. And I see people come on. Yes, Nautica, Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to all of our light workers on Facebook Live, whether you're getting this live feed right now or if you get it later on. Divine guidance will guide you, for those who have eyes to see and ears to hear. If that's you, then please continue to listen. And I want to invite everybody who wants to be part of the Anchoring Light transmission meditation, that it is open to anybody who comes to serve with love and caring and kindness for our planet and all of her life. If that's something that you sense and feel, then this is for you. And this is going to be our first transmission meaning we get divine inspiration, divine codes, energy, telepathic insights through the higher realms of light. So all who resonate are absolutely invited. You simply go to our Facebook page, Cosmic Center Spiritual Light Facebook page, and you will find the Anchoring Light Transmission Meditation there. And once you register, you are registered, for anyone moving forward. Okay, so I see there's a number of people coming on board, and I wanted just to have a little chat as this first transmission for the new year of 2022. Wishing everybody the blessings of light. And we talked a little bit about that, I believe, last Monday, that the energy of light and the idea, even as commercialized as these holidays have become, but there is a seed of light to the world. And whether that is through, Yule of the pagan path, which many things come from that, actually, as far as timing and seasons and the earth and so forth, to the Hanukkah, to Christmas. There's a convergence of people thinking of light and kindness and positiveness. And so taking that along with the solstice that we just had on December 21st, we who are conscious as co-creators can take that higher cosmic energy and help to bring it towards the higher thought forms of peace and balance and unity and oneness. We actually have the power to do that. Now, is there a counterforce? Yes, we all know that. But most certainly, say if we did nothing, then that would override everything. But the legions of light are growing, portals are opening, the higher aeons are connecting more here. And I want to talk about the seraphim, because the seraphim are angelic beings, as we are told in the ancient writings. And there have been encounters with the seraphim by humans. Akhenaten, the Egyptian king, for one, had the fiery intelligence of the seraphim there, as well as others. So there's so much life teeming in the multiverse that's out there, but the seraphim most certainly play an important and critical role in this particular creation that we find ourselves in. And their presence is not just me, but I've seen where many other people have been picking up the seraphim. And in fact, at the Cosmic Center Spiritual Light, we had a powerful event called Singing with the Seraphim, because it's also the seraphim that is said that sings around the throne. Okay, and we've had some experiences with some of those energetics coming from very high, the throne, as well as other higher frequencies that are all around us, but we may not necessarily experience it because there are filters or veils or whatever you want to call it, that kind of separate us from other things. But there are times that you can actually transcend that and go into and experience these other realities that exist in our multiverse of which we are a part. So I talked about manifestation, and I wanted to mention that the guidance that I got was this, which I've been working on for a long time, is that the manifestation as co-creators, and we are co-creators, and that's what we have to remember. We create, whether we do it knowingly or unknowingly, or consciously or unconsciously. We're constantly creating, and there's many levels to this part of us. And as we tap into the higher parts of ourselves, okay, as we are able now to say, hey, there's more to this 3D world, to this physical body I find myself in with these 5 very limited senses, that there's more to this very restricted light spectrum we're in. In fact, the light spectrum is like, beyond, way beyond what we're able to comprehend in these earthly bodies. It isn't until you transcend this and get into higher layers that you can have a bigger picture. And then you go higher, there's a bigger picture and a bigger picture, and so on and so forth. But as we are able to tap into these higher parts of ourselves, and that is now beginning to stay tethered, if you will, or anchored, as we walk our path of light, our ability to anchor the higher frequencies stays longer and integrates until we, as many avatars of light, become a light to the world. Even you don't have to open your mouth, just your presence there, or a smile or something like that can brighten a person, a day, if they're having a bad day, and heal. It can do so many different things. So our goal is that as we walk the ascension path, or the path of light, it is most certainly, I would say, I just typed this to an individual. I said, it is the path less traveled, for sure. But for those who are on the path, because you're supposed to be on the path, then you do understand what it is that I'm talking about, is that you now expand your consciousness, you become aware of things that you were not aware before, or I would rather say you remember, because many of us come in with this information. It's just that we have to recapitulate back into our cosmic memory to come back online again, to say, oh my gosh, that's right. And that's why there's a lot of different things. Divine synchronicity puts you in situations or meeting people or dynamics to help trigger, say, hey, this is embedded in your DNA. There's a part of you that knows this. It's been dormant, and then something will come and trigger it. And then all the cosmic pieces, or not all, but a lot of the cosmic pieces start to fall into place. And you're like, wow, I have a higher understanding. So just think of your understanding now, wherever you may be, and what it was 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, even 3 years ago. You will say, wow, I have a higher understanding or insight or wisdom that I did not have before. So part of that comes from, obviously, the expansion of our consciousness and the rising of our energies, that we're able, even as we walk a third dimensional world, a physical material world, many of us, most of us, are operating from fifth dimensional consciousness. And as you can hold that, as that is totally integrated in your day-to-day life, then you are then able to bring in what I would call, I know there was a church, I want to say, the supernatural powers, okay, if you want to call it supernatural powers, or I like to say higher powers, or your higher self, okay, that things, and that's how Jesus Christ and other great avatars of light were able to transcend man-made laws, and be able to do things that people say, wow, that's magic, or how did they do that? Well, it's only because it's information that we have not become fully aware of yet, or have an understanding of. but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist for those who have an awareness of it. And so in the manifestation, and I want to say that we can manifest not only for our personal needs, but I want to say the manifestation of the whole planet, the manifestation that we want to have peace, like for real. You know, there are people who may roll their eyes like, yeah, right, world peace. No, no, seriously. We're not rolling any eyes. We're serious about the peace on the earth thing. We are. And we're very serious about the unity and oneness. And we're very serious about it's all one and we're not separated. And there's a whole bunch of us now, more awakening beings, that are saying, no, no, this is not fantasy. It's not legend. Okay, because there is something transcendent, okay, to man-made laws. So all I want to say is that, and I have to just put my battery in. Hold on one second. Because that's what's good with this technology. When you use for good, it'll let you know if something's going wrong. It just told me that my battery was low. So the manifestation of the ascension, the manifestation of people on the planet waking up to the truth of who they truly are, that this is not the only reality. There's a much higher, more beautiful, more transcendent, you know, where there is, they talk about Shambhala and other worlds of light that don't have the duality dynamic that we have, that they are anchored with the third, with a trinity, you know, coming down, holding those polarities and balance. And so there is stability with that. And if we can create that, which we can, okay, we're not just doing it by ourselves, but we are a large part of that happening, the awakening consciousness of humanity, along with other levels of consciousness to bring our planet and all of her life into a much loftier existence and experience. It's interesting. I just saw The Matrix, The Resurrection. I'm a big Matrix fan from years ago. It's like I watched it so many times because I knew it was embedded with us, with information in there, which I now, years later, understand, you know, where those writers were coming from. But in the most recent Matrix, The Resurrection, very interesting. It just shows that, you know, how the illusion is and how you can get sucked into the illusion. And because you have, you know, somebody, the puppet master, that's or what they call the architect, that's orchestrating everything. Okay, but the anomaly is the divine human, or the Adman Kadmon, which is in Kabbalah. We are from a much higher aeon. We didn't just originate from here. Who we truly are comes from a much higher frequency of light. And it is the awakening and understanding where the powers of Neo came online. Like, wow, I didn't even know I had these powers. Like, yeah, it's been in you all this time. You're just waking up to it now. So can you please use it? Well, that's us. That's us. Neo is us. We have great potential. We just have a dormancy in a lot of our activities because we're operating here. But really, we're all the way up here, and we have to pierce through that to tap into that. And so that brings in the manifestation part. Now more than ever, than even 10 years ago, okay, we are in a position to manifest that much quickly. Now, what is the rules to manifestation? First of all, you have to believe it and trust it will happen. It has to come from, I want to have this manifestation in alignment with divine will. Divine will is always something that's loving and positive and wants good. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that. If it's in divine will, it'll be for the highest good, okay, for you to progress. But when you lend your intention to manifest divine will, which is the ascension, which is peace, which is balance, which is beauty, which is oneness, and all the things that deep inside all of us crave for, we want, we have a sense that this does happen someplace else. Okay, and we're not limited to this world, is that we're here to help the world to get on board with those dynamics that exist out there in our multiverse creation beyond what we can even imagine. Its greatness and magnitude is that profound, but we have a sense of it. And as we wake up more and more, we say we want to have the manifestation of a higher world vision. Okay, so the manifestation of our world, the manifestation of our country, the manifestation of our community, the manifestation of our family, the manifestation for ourselves, that we are in alignment with divine will, which is always, always a blessing to us beyond what we could even imagine, how profoundly blessed we are. So I want to challenge everybody for 2022 to remind that we are powerful manifestors. And the more you walk on the path of light, the more you're going to tap into your higher abilities to not only assist yourself and your family and your community, but to assist the entire world and even beyond that. So with that, that is my 2022 affirmation intention for everybody to remember who you are, how powerful you are. You are a radiant being of light. You're a magnificent being of light. You have come here for a purpose and you have an important role to play. And you can also do this with some grace and ease. It doesn't have to be difficult. You just have to keep on your path and know that you will get there. And with that, I'm going to say namaste to our family of light on Facebook Live. We will see you next week.